You ever get the feeling that something's coming, even when everything seems quiet? That's where we are with the Carolina Panthers right now. It's the hush before the storm, the kind that only football fans truly recognize. Training camp is near, hope is cautiously stirring, and yet behind closed doors, something unexpected is brewing. Two names, two potential trades that no one, not even the most loyal Panther diehards, saw coming. These aren't fringe players or bottom of the roster guys. One of them is a veteran wide receiver. Not just any vet, but a player who's been the heartbeat of the offense. A trusted lifeline for a young quarterback trying to navigate NFL chaos. Dependable, professional, productive. Everything you'd want in a leader. And now he might be on the move. Why? Because youth is rising in Carolina. Fresh legs, explosive upside, wideouts with something to prove and futures to build. And as this team starts to rebuild around its younger core, the steady hands of a 34-year-old receiver may start to feel more like a luxury than a necessity. But don't think for a second that he's washed. He's still surgical in his routes, reliable under pressure, and cool in the biggest moments. If Carolina stumbles out of the gate, teams with playoff dreams could come knocking, looking to rent that calm, veteran presence for a deep run. Then there's the second surprise name, a grinder on the offensive line. No, he's not a star, and he hasn't started every Sunday. But depth in the trenches is gold in this league. He's versatile, he's grown, and he's proven he can plug in and hold his own. He may not get the spotlight, but GMs across the NFL know what he's worth. Come midseason, if injuries pile up, and they always do, a guy like him becomes priceless. So while the Panthers gear up for camp, don't be fooled by the silence. Something's stirring behind the scenes. Moves are being considered. Futures are being weighed. And for two Panthers, their next chapter might be written in a different city. Sooner than we think. In every NFL locker room, there comes a moment where the heart and the head clash. A moment where a fan-favorite veteran, the one who shows up early, sets the tone, teaches by example, might have to go. Not because he's fallen off, but because the team around him is shifting, reshaping, evolving. That's the storm swirling around Carolina right now. If the Panthers stumble early this season, and if that beloved wide receiver keeps putting up numbers like he always has, trading him might be the most logical and painful move. Not because he's failed the team, but because the team may fail to give him a stage worthy of his twilight years. It's bittersweet. On one hand, he's the steady voice young receivers lean on, a living, breathing masterclass in route running and resilience. On the other, he still has gas in the tank, and contenders are always watching. His experience, hands, and IQ could make the difference between a playoff push and a Super Bowl parade, just not in Charlotte. And if that day comes, if a call is made and a goodbye is said, it might not be betrayal. It might just be respect, sending a warrior somewhere he can finish the fight with purpose. But not every trade rumor sits the same. Let's talk trenches. Offensive line depth is never sexy until your starter goes down, and suddenly, a versatile, battle-tested interior lineman is all that stands between your quarterback and disaster. That's what Carolina has in their back pocket. A utility piece. Quiet, reliable, tough as nails. He's not flashy, and he doesn't have a Pro Bowl resume. But when chaos hits, and it always does, he plugs the gap. Guard, center, doesn't matter. He steps in. He stabilizes. And in a game of inches, that's everything. So when the rumor mill starts churning his name, it hits different. Because moving him feels less like a strategic play and more like tempting fate. If the Panthers are serious about building something long-term, they'll need to protect the core. That means keeping talent where it's needed most, in the mud, in the grind, in the heart of the line. Some trades are about value. Others are about survival. And just when Panther fans were catching their breath, the next gut punch came. not on the field, but in the form of fabric. The jersey rankings dropped, and Carolina ranked second to last, 31st out of 32. A team known for fight, for pride, for pounding forward no matter what, now being knocked for its very identity. Too many uniform combos. Too little cohesion. Outdated. That was the word used. As if the legacy of the Panthers could be erased by a few stitches and seams. And yet, there's something poetic in that criticism. Because maybe this isn't just about fabric. Maybe it's a reflection of the growing pains. The identity crisis. The search for who this team truly is and what it wants to become. The logo, meant to unify two states, now floats between combinations like a flag in the wind. But even in that, there's potential. Because in camouflage, the Panthers thrive. In adversity, they bite back. Maybe it's not about what you wear. Maybe it's about how you fight in it. There's a certain kind of sting that only a true fan understands. It's not just about wins or losses. It's not about stats, trades, or even rosters. Sometimes it's about pride, identity, the symbol stitched across your chest. And for Panther Nation, that pride just took a hit, not from a rival on the field, but from a list. A list that ranked every NFL team's jerseys, from first to worst. And Carolina? 31st out of 32. Only one team placed lower. It wasn't just a number. It was a slap in the face. Especially when you see who ranked ahead, teams with plain designs, uninspired throwbacks, and uniforms that feel like leftovers from a template no one finished. And yet, somehow, they were better? It felt like being mocked. A franchise that carved its place into the NFL in the 90s, that built something bold, something different, now being called outdated. Like the story told in those uniforms didn't matter. Like history wasn't worth honoring. But here's the thing. That panther blue, that silver trim, that fierce feline badge across the chest? It's more than cloth. It's legacy. You don't see Carolina's jerseys copied. You don't see their style diluted. That's because it was never built to blend in. It was made to stand out, made to represent a region, a mindset, a storm always brewing. So when someone calls it outdated, we don't flinch. We remember why it was made that way to begin with. Let them wear whatever they want. We'll keep our stripes and earn every scar that comes with them. But just as frustration started to mount, a new energy broke through. One word brought the fire back. FanFest. The return of FanFest wasn't just another announcement. It was a heartbeat. Set for Saturday, August 2nd, it's more than a date on the calendar. It's a celebration. A chance for the fans to reclaim the pulse of this team. And this year, it's coming home, back to Charlotte. For just $5, the gates swing open at 5 p.m., and the experience begins. The first 5,000 fans will walk in with roster cards in hand. Kids will light up with bubbles and coloring walls at the health zone. Music will echo, the lights will shine, and at 6:30, the players will take the field. At 7:30, full speed practice. A glimpse of what's to come. A preview of battles yet to be won. And every cent of those ticket sales? It goes to charity. Because this isn't just a team. It's a community. So maybe the critics don't understand the uniforms. Maybe they don't respect the brand. But Panther Nation knows. We don't need your approval. We've got tradition, passion, and a city that shows up every time. As the sun sets and the stadium lights begin to glow, FanFest doesn't fade, it explodes. At 8:40, the final whistle of practice marks the end of the grind and the beginning of celebration. Players line up for autographs, giving back to the fans who have carried them through highs and heartbreak. Kids light up. Adults turn into kids again. And then, fireworks. A laser show streaking across the Carolina sky, painting memories that linger far longer than any highlight reel. It's not just fun, it's a tradition. A reminder that this team isn't just 11 players on the field. It's a family. And even if you can't be there because of work, distance, or life pulling you elsewhere, the feeling still reaches you. Because when one Panther shows up, the whole pack feels it. There's already talk about next year, of making the trip, of meeting up, of turning online friendships into real-life moments. Because this isn't just about football anymore. It's about belonging. And if you're wondering about tickets, don't stress. Everything's online, everything's accessible. The opportunity to be part of something bigger is right there, waiting. But while the stadium may roar with fireworks, there's another fire burning just as brightly: the voice of the fans. Because after the rankings, the trade rumors, and the endless outsider opinions, Panther Nation has something to say. It's time to speak our truth. The first voice to rise comes from a fan who cuts through the noise with clarity. He calls out the sudden critiques flooding social media, the kind that make you wonder if people even watch the games. They're suddenly evaluating our wide receivers like we haven't been drafting with purpose for years, he says. And he's not wrong. Anyone truly following Carolina knows the plan hasn't been random. It's been patient. It's been strategic. The outside world might scoff at unfamiliar names, but inside the fan base, we see potential, growth, foundation. Then another fan speaks up, frustrated and fired up. How are we ranked 31st in playmakers? He asks. Have you seen the teams they put above us? The Saints? The Giants? The Browns? He doesn't hold back, questioning the credibility of rankings that ignore context, that dismiss the importance of offensive line play, that separates skill positions from the engine that powers them. Because that's the thing outsiders forget. Football is not played in silos. You can't judge a team's weapons if you don't understand what's protecting them, or who's delivering the ball. So yes, Panther Nation is frustrated. But beneath that frustration is something powerful. Belief. Belief that this team is building something real. Belief that the jersey still matters. Belief that the voices of the fans aren't just noise, they're the fuel. And no matter how we're ranked, written off, or misunderstood, we keep pounding. Panther Nation doesn't just speak, it roars. One fan after another stepped up, not just to vent, but to unite. To remind the world that Carolina's pride can't be measured in rankings, headlines, or shallow opinions. Another fan sent in his message, disbelief clear in every word. He couldn't understand how Carolina's playmakers were being ignored, how a franchise with so much young promise could be shoved near the bottom of the list. And honestly, who could blame him? The disrespect burns. It lingers. But even in frustration, a message rang louder than the anger. Keep pounding. That phrase, simple, powerful, eternal, has become more than a motto. It's a rallying cry, a heartbeat, a promise that no matter what comes, this team and its fans won't stop, won't fold, won't disappear. Then something beautiful happened. In the middle of the outrage, celebration broke through. One fan shared that today was his birthday, and just like that, everything slowed down for a moment. Because in Panther Nation, every voice matters. Every person counts. Birthdays may come and go, but when someone takes the time to speak their truth, to support their team, to show love in the middle of chaos, that deserves a spotlight. So to that fan, and every fan, this story is for you. Whether you're in Charlotte, out of state, or halfway across the world, you're part of this. Your passion makes the team stronger. Your criticism makes it smarter. And your loyalty? It's what keeps the fire burning. So what's next? Let's turn the questions to you, the heartbeat of this story. Would you make the trade? If the team stumbles, would you let a veteran walk for the greater good? Would you hold on to a versatile lineman, even if the offer was tempting? Where would you place our jerseys, honestly? Are we really near the bottom, or is there something iconic in our style that outsiders just don't get? And are you planning to go to FanFest? Or maybe next year, would you want to meet other fans who've ridden every high and low right alongside you? Because here's the truth. This isn't just a football team. It's a family. It's a bond stitched in silver, blue, and black. And every cheer, every critique, every memory, it all becomes part of the story. So wherever you are, keep pounding. We'll see you next time.